Morning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
So here is a look at Chelsea's summer transfer business so far, and there seems to have been a distinct shift in that along with the established model of signing young players with high potential, we're seeing that they seem to have consciously added some proven veteran Premier League names in there with the likes of Jordan Henderson and Danny Welbeck. Gab Marcotti still with us. What do we expect from Chelsea this season, Gab?
Well, obviously they did a bit of a U-turn on the policy. All those people complaining about lack of veteran leadership. Boom. Here's Jordan Henderson. Here's Danny Welbeck. You don't get more veteran leaders than those two. I think Xabi Alonso obviously placed certain conditions when he took over the job, and he said, like, no more of this project stuff. Let's get the right balance. So they've obviously abandoned the model, at least partially. Now they're going to have to extricate themselves from the model because the models are designed to be longer term, and they're already under a settlement agreement with UEFA for violating their version of financial stability rules. They've been fined if they don't reach certain targets this summer in terms of incomings and outgoings and costs, then they're going to be fined again. So that whole right-hand side of the graphic that you showed before with the players out, I would expect that to get a whole heck of a lot longer by August 31st. Otherwise, Chelsea are going to have some serious problems.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Gab, because we asked you to put together an 11 for Chelsea for the coming season of what we've seen right now with these names. Where are the areas of concern where there needs to be reinforcements?
I don't think they need too many more reinforcements. I think they need to move somebody out, and that's why I highlighted Enzo Fernandez is a Chelsea player right now. Anything can happen, but I do not expect him to be a Chelsea player when the window closes. I think that spot in midfield. We might see Dario Isugo there. We might see Romeo Lavia if he's fit. We might see Jordan Henderson. We might see Reece James there. There's Valentin Barco as well. We saw him play left back. He can also play midfield, of course. So there's a whole range of options that that can come in there. I put that lineup as a 4-2-3-1. Of course, we all know in possession it becomes a back three. That's the way Xabi Alonso likes it. And of course, there's the fullbacks on both sides, whether it's Hato or James or indeed Marco Palestra, who's looked pretty good in some of the early friendlies. They're going to change it, and it's going to become a de facto 3-3-4 when Chelsea are attacking again, very much in the Xabi Alonso mold. But to me, that's the major question mark right now. I don't see them bringing in another centre forward. I see them shifting a bunch of players out, but really the only starting caliber player that you would see moving out right now is Enzo.
When you take a look at that 11 and you take a look at the names who are in right now at Chelsea and who they've already got, Shaka, what are your expectations for them? What's their ceiling?
Chelsea's ceiling, I think, top four at best, and even so, and that is definitely an at best. I think Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool potentially are better than Chelsea. And while you look at that Chelsea and that 11, certainly top half of the park looks decent. At the back, I have continued to have concerns. Sanchez as well is a goalkeeper who's had his moments in both positive and negative ways. And I felt that was a position that they would address, and similarly along the back four. For as good as they have been at times, for all the problems that Xabi Alonso brings as a manager, I still don't see this Chelsea finishing top four.
No Euro and a good shot at just focusing on the Premier League.
They have a chance at a top four, but they're going to have to become a team very quickly. And I think it's obvious for anybody that has been part of a locker room that when you see a bunch of guys come in and you're kind of trying to figure out where do I fit in, because you know that there's a new manager. All these guys have been brought in, and they say, am I in or am I out? And even if I stay here, am I part of the rotation? Am I having to defend my place? And those guys are coming in with the expectation that they're going to play, but they don't really know what the roles are. And so how do you, within a locker room, then become a team? Which, in essence, is what Chelsea are going to need to be in order for them to be competitive and for them to achieve, and I think in my mind would be overachieve, if they were able to get into a top 4 position. And so there's a lot of work to be done here for Xabi Alonso, and I think he's deconstructing before he constructs. I think he is sort of kind of taking pieces away, and we don't need that, we don't need this, we are going to bring other guys, we're going to bring other personalities, we're going to bring some leadership. So we're in the deconstruction process so that then he can construct. And he has proven, as he did in Bayer Leverkusen, that he can.
Chelsea are getting back to work at Cobham, and 2 important names have now returned to training following their extended break after the World Cup. Enzo Fernandez and Morgan Rogers are back with the squad, and both players are already getting down to business as Chelsea prepare for the new season under Xabi Alonso. After spending the summer representing their countries at the World Cup, the players were given time to recover before returning to club football. Now that the holiday is over, the focus has completely changed. It is time to get fit. It is time to compete for places. And it is time to show Xabi Alonso exactly what they can bring to his new Chelsea project. The training footage has already given supporters something to talk about. Enzo Fernandez and Morgan Rogers were seen involved in intense drills, including shooting exercises and high-intensity work as they begin building their fitness ahead of the new campaign. For Morgan Rogers, this is particularly exciting because this will be his first season as a Chelsea player. Chelsea officially completed the signing of Rogers from Aston Villa, with the England international joining on a long-term contract through 2033. The club described him as one of the Premier League's leading young attacking talents. And Chelsea supporters will be hoping he can bring exactly the qualities that made him so dangerous at Aston Villa. Rogers is a powerful and direct attacking player. He can carry the ball forward, take on defenders, create opportunities and contribute goals and assists. During his Aston Villa career, his goals and assists contributed to 40 goals and 85 Premier League appearances, while he also established himself as an England international. Now, under Xabi Alonso, Rogers could become an important part of Chelsea's attacking structure. His ability to drive forward with the ball could give Chelsea another way of breaking defensive lines. And with Chelsea looking to compete on multiple fronts, having another player capable of creating something from nothing could become extremely valuable. But while Rogers' arrival is creating excitement, the biggest question surrounding the training ground may actually be about Enzo Fernandez. Because despite returning to work with the team, uncertainty surrounding Enzo's future has not completely disappeared. There has been serious speculation about interest from major European clubs, particularly Real Madrid, while reports have previously suggested that Enzo's representatives were exploring possibilities for a move away from Stamford Bridge. That makes his return to Cobham particularly interesting. Is Enzo preparing for another season at Chelsea? Or could the coming weeks bring another major twist? At this moment, there is no confirmed transfer agreement. In fact, reports have been mixed, with some recent coverage suggesting Chelsea believe Enzo is now more likely to stay than leave. So for Chelsea fans, this is a situation that needs to be watched closely. Because losing Enzo would be a major decision. The Argentine midfielder has become an important part of Chelsea's midfield since arriving at Stamford Bridge. His passing range, ability to control possession and willingness to take responsibility make him a player who can influence the rhythm of a game. And Enzo himself has previously spoken about why he joined Chelsea, saying that competing for trophies was one of the reasons he came to the club and that he wants to win titles with the team. So if Chelsea can keep him fully committed to Alonso's project, Enzo could become one of the key players in this new era. And that is where Morgan Rogers becomes even more interesting. Chelsea are building a squad with different attacking options, and Rogers gives Alonso another powerful weapon. Imagine Rogers receiving the ball in space, driving toward the defense, while Enzo controls the midfield behind him. That combination could become extremely important. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. A new manager means new tactical demands. A new season means competition for starting positions. And every player will have to prove themselves. But one thing is clear. The return of Enzo Fernandez and Morgan Rogers gives Chelsea another major boost as preparations continue. For Rogers, it is the beginning of his Chelsea journey. For Enzo, it could be the beginning of another chapter, or potentially the final stage of a complicated transfer story. And for Xabi Alonso, the objective is simple. Build the strongest Chelsea team possible. The players are back. Training has resumed. The competition is beginning. And Chelsea's new era is getting closer and closer to its first serious test.